86. London, 21st November 1895. Dear Mrs. Bull, I sailed by the Britannic on Wednesday, the 27th. My work so far has been very satisfactory here, and I'm sure to do splendid work here next summer. Yours with love, Vivekananda. 87. RMS Britannic, Thursday morning, December 5, 1895. Dear Alberta, received your nice letter last evening. Very kind of you to remember me. I am going soon to see the heavenly pair. Mr. Leggett is a saint, as I have told you already, and your mother is a born empress, every inch of her, with a saint's heart inside. I am so glad you are enjoying the Alps so much. They must be wonderful. It is always in such places that the human soul aspires for freedom. Even if the nation is spiritually poor, it aspires for physical freedom. I met a young Swiss in London. He used to come to my classes. I was very successful in London, and though I did not care for the noisy city, I was very much pleased with the people. In your country, Alberta, the Vedantic thought was introduced in the beginning by ignorant cranks, and one has to work his way through the difficulties created by such introductions. You may have noticed that only a few men or women of the upper classes ever joined my classes in America. Again, in America, the upper classes being the rich, their whole time is spent in enjoying their wealth and imitating, aping the Europeans. On the other hand, in England, the Vedantic ideas have been introduced by the most learned men in the country, and there are a large number among the upper classes in England who are very thoughtful. So you will be astonished to hear that I found my grounds all prepared, and I am convinced that my work will have more hold on England than America. Add to this the tremendous tenacity of the English character, and judge for yourself. By this you will find that I have changed a good deal of my opinion about England, and I am glad to confess it. I am perfectly sure that we will do still better in Germany. I am coming back to England next summer. In the meanwhile, my work is in very able hands. Jojo has been the same kind, good, pure friend to me here as in America, and my debt to your family is simply immense. My love and blessings to Hollister and you. The steamer is standing at anchor on account of fog. The purser has very kindly given me a whole cabin by myself. Every Hindu is a Raja, they think, and are very polite. And the charm will break, of course, when they find that the Raja is penniless. Yours with love and blessings, Vivekananda. 88. 228 West 39th Street, New York, 8th December 1895. Dear Mrs. Bull, many thanks for your kind note of welcome. I arrived last Friday after 10 days of a very tedious voyage. It was awfully rough, and for the first time in my life, I was very badly seasick. I have left some strong friends in England who will work in my absence, expecting my arrival next summer. My plans are not settled yet about the work here. Only I have an idea to run to Detroit and Chicago meanwhile, and then come back to New York. The public lecture plan I intend to give up entirely, as I find the best thing for me to do is to step entirely out of the money question, either in public lectures or private classes. In the long run, it does harm and sets a bad example. In England, I worked on this principle and refused even the voluntary collections they made. Mr. Sturdy, being a rich man, bore the major part of the expenses of lecturing in big halls. The rest I bore. It worked well. Again, to use rather a vulgar illustration, even in religion there is no use overstocking the market. The supply must follow the demand, and the demand alone. If people want me, they will get up lectures. I need not bother myself about these things. If you think after consultation with Mrs. Adams and Mrs. Locke that it would be practicable for me to come to Chicago for a course of lectures, write to me. Of course, the money question should be left entirely out. My idea is for autonomic, independent groups in different places. Let them work on their own account and do the best they can. As for myself, I do not want to entangle myself in any organization. Hoping you are enjoying good health both physically and mentally. I am yours, in the Lord, Vivekananda. 89. 228 West 39th Street, New York, 10th December 1895. Dear Mrs. Bull, I have received the secretary's letter and will be glad to lecture before the Harvard Philosophical Club as requested. The difficulty in the way is, I have begun to write in earnest, as I want to finish some textbooks to form the basis of work when I am gone. I have to hurry through 4 little books before I go. This month, notices are out for the 4 Sunday lectures. The lectures for the first week of February in Brooklyn are being arranged by Dr. Janes and others. Yours with best wishes, Vivekananda. 90. New York, 29th December 1895. Dear sister, in this universe where nothing is lost, where we live in the midst of death in life, every thought that is thought, in public or in private, in crowded thoroughfares or in the deep recesses of primeval forests, lives. They are continuously trying to become self-embodied, and until they have embodied themselves, they will struggle for expression, and any amount of repression cannot kill them. Nothing can be destroyed. Those thoughts that caused evil in the past are also seeking embodiment, to be filtered through repeated expression and at last transfigured into perfect good. As such, there is a mass of thought which is at the present time struggling to get expression. This new thought is telling us to give up our dreams of dualism, of good and evil in essence, and the still wilder dream of suppression. It teaches us that higher direction and not destruction is the law. It teaches us that it is not a world of bad and good, but good and better, and still better. It stops short of nothing but acceptance. It teaches that no situation is hopeless, and as such accepts every form of mental, moral, or spiritual thought where it already stands, and without a word of condemnation, tells it that so far it has done good, now is the time to do better. What in old times was thought of as the elimination of bad, it teaches as the transfiguration of evil and the doing of better. It, above all, teaches that the kingdom of heaven is already in existence if we will have it, that perfection is already in man if he will see it. The Greenacre meetings last summer were so wonderful, simply because you opened yourself fully to that thought which has found in you so competent a medium of expression, and because you took your stand on the highest teaching of this thought, that the kingdom of heaven already exists. You have been consecrated and chosen by the Lord as a channel for converting this thought into life, and everyone that helps you in this wonderful work is serving the Lord. Our scripture teaches that he who serves the servants of the Lord is his highest worshipper. You are a servant of the Lord, and as a disciple of Krishna, I will always consider it a privilege and worship to render you any service in the carrying out of your inspired mission wherever I be. Ever your affectionate brother, Vivekananda. 91. January 1896. Dear Sarada, your idea of the paper is very good indeed. Apply yourself to it heart and soul. Never mind the funds. There are many to preach Christianity and Mohammedanism. You just go through the preaching of your own country's religion. But then, if you can get hold of a Mohammedan who is versed in Arabic and have old Arabic books translated, it will be a good plan. There is much of Indian history in the Persian language. If you can have the books translated bit by bit, it will be a good regular item. We want quite a number of writers. Then there is the difficult task of getting subscribers. The way out is this. You lead a wandering life. Wherever you find Bengali language spoken, thrust the paper on whomsoever you can lay your hands on. Enlist them by vehemence. They would always turn tail the moment they have to spend something. Never mind anything. Push it on. Begin to contribute articles, all of you who can. It won't do merely to sit idle. You have done a heroic deed. Bravo. Those who falter and vacillate will lag behind, and you will jump straight on top of all. Those that are working for their own salvation will neither have their own nor that of others. Let the commotion that you make be such as to resound to the world's end. There are people who are ready to pick holes in everything, but when it comes to the question of work, not a cent of them can be had. To work, as far as in you lies. Then I shall go to India and move the whole country. What fear? Even a snake loses its venom if it is insisted that it has none. These people will go on the negative track till they are actually reduced to nothing. Gangadhar has done right heroic work. Well done. Kali has joined him in work. Thrice well done. Let one go to Madras and another to Bombay. Let the world shake on its hinges. Oh, the grief! If I could get 2 or 3 like me, I could have left the world convulsed. As it is, I have to proceed gently. Move the world to its foundations. Send one to China, another to Japan. What will the poor householders do with their little bits of life? It is for the sannyasins, Shiva's demons, to rend the skies with their shouts of Hara, Hara, Shambho. Yours affectionately, Vivekananda. 92. 228 West, 39, New York, 24th January 1896. Dear Yogin, I am very sorry to hear that your health is not yet all right. Can you go to a very cold climate where there is plenty of snowfall in the winter, Darjeeling for instance? The severity of the cold will set your stomach right, as it has done in my case. And can you give up altogether the habit of using ghee and spices? Butter digests more quickly than ghee. 3 months more and I go to England, to try once more to make some stir, the following winter to India, and after that it depends on the Lord. Put forth all nerve for the magazine that Sharada is wanting to publish. Ask Shashi to look to it. One thing, neither Kali nor anybody else has any need of coming to England at present. I shall train them first when I go to India, and then they may go wherever they please. We would do nothing ourselves and would scoff at others who try to do something. This is the bane that has brought about our downfall as a nation. Want of sympathy and lack of energy are at the root of all misery, and you must therefore give these two up. Who but the Lord knows what potentialities there are in particular individuals? Let all have opportunities, and leave the rest to the Lord. It is indeed very difficult to have an equal love for all, but without it, there is no mukti. Yours affectionately, Vivekananda. 93. New York, 25th January 1896. Dear Mrs. Bull, your letter to Sturdy has been sent over to me. It was very kind of you to write that note. This year I'm afraid I'm getting overworked as I feel the strain. I want a rest badly. So it is very good, as you say, that the Boston work be taken up in the end of March. By the end of April I will start for England. Land can be had in large plots in the Catskills for very little money. There is a plot of 101 acres for $200. The money I have ready, only I cannot buy the land in my name. You are the only friend in this country in whom I have perfect trust. If you consent, I will buy the land in your name. The students will go there in summer and build cottages or camps as they like and practice meditation. Later on, if they can collect funds, they may build something up. I am sorry you cannot come just now. Tomorrow will be the last Sunday lecture of this month. The first Sunday of next month, there will be a lecture in Brooklyn. The rest, 3 in New York, with which I will close this year's New York lectures. I have worked my best. If there is any seed of truth in it, it will come to life. So I have no anxiety about anything. I am also getting tired of lecturing and having classes. After a few months' work in England, I will go to India and hide myself absolutely for some years or forever. I am satisfied in my conscience that I did not remain an idle Swami. I have a notebook which has travelled with me all over the world. I find these words written 7 years ago. Now to seek a corner and lay myself there to die. Yet all this karma remained. I hope I have worked it out. I hope the Lord will give me freedom from this preaching and adding good bondages. If you have known the Atman as the one existence and that nothing else exists, for whom, for what desire, do you trouble yourself? Through Maya, all this doing good, etc. came into my brain. Now they are leaving me. I get more and more convinced that there is no other object in work except the purification of the soul, to make it fit for knowledge. This world with its good and evil will go on in various forms. Only the evil and good will take new names and new seats. My soul is hankering after peace and rest, eternal, undisturbed. Live alone, live alone. He who is alone never comes into conflict with others, never disturbs others, is never disturbed by others. I long for my rags, my shaven head, my sleep under the trees, and my food from begging. India is the only place where, with all its faults, the soul finds its freedom, its God. All this Western pomp is only vanity, only bondage of the soul. Never more in my life I realized more forcibly the vanity of the world. May the Lord break the bondage of all. May all come out of Maya, is the constant prayer of Vivekananda.